Craig, a disappointing result at the weekend, but you'll reflect on that one and think certain times in there we could have been better, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. We've done our edges and middles review today, and both of the sections said they were disappointed that we didn't manage to get over the line, and there's certain areas in that game where we felt we let ourselves down a little bit, and we've done that a number of times this season in the games against teams in the top six. Barring the two London games and the Doncaster game, the other three games that we've lost, we were in positions to win the games and didn't quite manage to get over the line. Oldham 30-all into the last couple of minutes and we ended up losing. Widnes lost by 4 points and obviously 2 points at the weekend. The games, if you win them games by turn it round by a score, then you probably sat fourth or fifth in the table, and it's a different outlook. And we need to make sure that when we're in that situation again, we've got to make sure that we're smart enough and patient enough to get over the line in them tight games, because we've come up short a number of times against the teams at the top end of the division this season, and we need to learn from that, and also going into games that are coming up now that we've highlighted that the next 5 or 6 games, there's potential for us to be able to get onto a little bit of a run of form now, but not taking anything for granted, not disrespecting anybody, and prepping as we always do for these teams in the Championship. Whitehaven on the back of 3 consecutive victories now, so they'll be full of confidence, and we saw the first 2 games that we played this season against them that they don't go away, and they've got a lot of skills in there as well.
Earlier in the year, we were talking off camera before, resilience mindset was a really big thing for, as I say, new squad being built together, and you could really see that at the start of the year. When you go through a spell of, as I say, a defeat like that London one, and then you lose so late on at Barrow, it's about sticking together in it, and as I say, making sure that you don't let your heads drop and you try and stick to what you want to achieve.
Yeah, 100%. And it's difficult at times because it can be frustrating, it can be disappointing, and if you dwell on the things that don't go right for you, then you can take that into the following week as well. So that's why we've done a lot of stuff on his mental skills framework, and trying to move on, not forgetting what's happened, but trying to learn from that and put into practice the following week, and try and get out of the run of defeats as quick as we possibly can. And that's what we need to be doing this week. And I've done something a little bit different tonight. I had a speaker come in, and we've come out onto the field and put some stuff into place offensively, because I thought we were a little bit too lateral at the weekend as well. So being a bit more direct, a bit more genuine with our lines of run. It's learning week on week and making sure we're not making the same mistakes week after week.
With things different like tonight, having a motivational speaker coming in, different mindset, different way of looking at things, just how much do you hope the lads kind of take something out of that opportunity?
Yeah, I think they will do, and I think it's really important because it is a long season. So if you're in that the sort of Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, it gets a little bit monotonous, so you've got to make sure that you don't forget about what you've worked on at the start of the season. You've got to retouch on it every now and again, and it might be that we'll do something every sort of 2 or 3 weeks to remind the players about what we've worked on in that pre-season, and certainly after a couple of defeats, like the very different defeats, the London defeat, which were obviously a heavy defeat for us, and then the close late defeat against Barrow, two completely different defeats that hurt just as much. So it's really important that we don't forget about the stuff that we've learned in this pre-season, and we keep going back to certain things that hopefully the players can learn from, and the little moments in games where things might go against you, whether it's a referee's decision or an error that we make, or a try that we don't score, or the opposition might score as well, that we've got to make sure that we move on to the next job as soon as we possibly can.
After the last few weeks, I can imagine there's a real desire amongst the playing group that, as I say, they want to get back on the horse and get a really, really important 2 points this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. And so we've highlighted now that the run of games that we've got, it's a good opportunity for us, that if we want to be in as high up the table and as high into the playoffs as we possibly can, that we've got to make sure that we're winning some of these games, if not all of these next sort of 5 or 6 games that we're going to play. And that's not being disrespectful to anybody in the league, because teams will be looking at us and they'll be seeing us as an opportunity to get 2 points on the board themselves. But if we want to achieve anything this season, we've got to make sure now that we get onto a bit of a continuous and consecutive run of good performances and victories.
Third time we'll have played Whitehaven this weekend. We had that 11-4 win, first game of the season, came from behind, and then similar, came from behind the Challenge Cup game. We know it's going to be a different opportunity, different game, but we know enough about Whitehaven now, don't we, to maybe know what to expect this week?
Yeah, we do, mate. And I've watched their last 3 games as well in the build up to this game, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. And I know they put 80 points past North Wales at the weekend, which I think shows a lot of confidence and a lot of discipline as well. Because in a game like that against North Wales, where people can think that they want to score every time they get the ball. You can go away from your game plan and the things that you need to do. But for them to show the discipline that they showed and put 80 points on the board, I think it shows a side of them that they've got a ruthless streak. And obviously the week before, going away to the Midlands Hurricanes and getting a victory there, which I thought they were fantastic in that game as well. And again, showed a lot of defensive resilience to defend their own goal line and some skillful play to put some points on the board as well. It's they're a competent team, and I think I've mentioned before about Whitehaven going back to a more local-based group of players, and I think when you've got that, people that want to represent the club, people that want to represent their community, it's they're reaping the rewards of it now.
And I know when we've been talking about the mindset, when you play a side, Whitehaven, 3 wins in a row, they'll be full of confidence. We come into it 2 defeats in a row, so maybe not the greatest form, but how do you ensure the players don't use, as I say, feel the pressure so much and focus on the task ahead?
Yeah, we talked about that today. That's about moving on to the next job. You can't change what's gone. Whether that's a loss last weekend or the weekend before, or whether it's a knock-on or a penalty or a try concession, you can't change it. So we can't dwell on it. All we can do is move forward and look at the areas where we need to improve on from last week. Look at the areas what we did what were very, very, very good. So defensively for a lot of the game, I thought we handled the shape that Barrow throw at teams. I thought we conceded 2 soft tries through the middle, but in terms of our edge defence, I thought we handled the shape that Barrow threw at us, and they scored a lot of points this year at Barrow. So that's really important that we take the positives from it, but we also need to make sure that we look at the negatives and see where we can improve. So we know we've got players that are capable in our team to score points, to win games, to defend the try line. So we need to make sure we're doing that consistently.
We spoke post game at Barrow. Massey obviously came off. How is he doing? I know we mentioned Harry Bowes has still got another game on his suspension, so we're likely to see anyone like Jack Bussey, Hodgie maybe make a return this weekend.
We don't know, mate, as it stands. Massey's not trained tonight. Jack Bussey's not trained. Hodgie's done a little bit of light stuff, so there'll be a lot of late calls on certain individuals. So we are light on bodies, but we've been light on bodies all season, so it's nothing new. We've got people that are putting their hand up that are playing sort of 75% fit, 80% fit, but that's where we are. We're past the halfway point of the season now, and people are going to be playing with knocks and niggles, and some of ours might have been playing with knocks and niggles a little bit longer because of the lack of bodies that we've got to rotate around, but that's competitive sport and that's where you are, and you just crack on with what you need to do.
I know we've spoken about the long-term absentees, Jordan Lilly, Matty Marsh, 2 players we've not really mentioned recently, is Connor Fitzsimmons, Joel Farrell. How are they doing? Are they nearing return to action anytime soon?
Yeah, Fitz is back training now. I think he's got to wait another week or so, I think it is, before he can return to full training. So we'd probably be expecting Fitzy to be available after the week off that we have after the next 2 games. So hopefully he'll be back by then. Faz is, we're not sure with Faz. He can't do any contact stuff at the minute, so he can do the non-contact stuff. But I can't see Faz being back anytime soon.
And focusing on the task ahead this week, back at home, be great to get that 2 points and get that first win in Dronfield, wouldn't it?
Oh, 100%, mate. Yeah, I think it's really important that we try and get onto a winning run as soon as we possibly can at home and try and make our home ground a fortress. Everybody wants to play at home and win the home games, but I think it's really important that we get that first win at home as soon as we possibly can.